Yo, top of the top, my good people. Welcome to Talks with Todd. I'm your host, B. Todd, and this is episode 5. Now, listen, before we even get to the topic, y'all showed up and showed out for your boy last episode, man, and I appreciate it. Listen, the likes, cool. The shares, cool. The comments, that was different, bro. That was different. I appreciate everybody that got in those comments. A lot of y'all said some things that I was not expecting. Hell, one of my homegirls, she was like, B, I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't finish it at first because it was hitting so close to home. Like, I'm glad that, I'm my words, my stories are actually hitting people in a certain way that they could relate to it. You know what I'm saying? So hey, listen, I appreciate all of y'all. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, I appreciate my haters too, man. Y'all gonna help me blow up faster. I appreciate it because y'all gonna keep talking about me and doing y'all little thing or whatever, and that's cool too. It's all love over here, man. So let's get to the topic. First and foremost, I want to give a special shout out to my wife because she's the one who threw out this topic while I was talking to one of my young homies at work, and when she came up with the topic, I was going back and forth on what to call it, but when she threw out there my Dirtbag days, I was like, yo, that just got a nice ring to it. And I just was like, you know what, I'm about to roll with that. I could have easily called it my addiction to married women or the allure of married women, but that sounded a lot better to me. So salute to my wife, man. I appreciate you and I love you, baby, no matter what. Where do I begin? The year was, I want to say maybe 2010. 2010, 2009, I decided to take my ass back to college, and I went to University of Phoenix. When I was going there, I was paired up with some women, and it was a small class, so it wasn't that many people in there anyway for me to choose from. So I picked the two women that was like, kind of together. I thought they was friends. So when we started this class, she had a preconceived notion of me. I guess, back then the style was to dress, kind of different. Like everybody kind of dressed the same. Everybody dressed like a thug, basically. Whether they was a thug or not, they was looking like one, and that's what she thought I was. Now, here's what's ironic about this married woman. She thought I was a thug and didn't want to have nothing to do with me, but her husband at the time was a dope boy. Make it make sense. I don't know. But anyway, we got to talking, chopping it up. Once she got to know me and realized that I wasn't no thug, she's like, you know what, you cool. I prejudged, I misjudged you, and I'm glad that we got a chance to speak and get to know each other. So as that time we got to going and getting to know each other, what ended up happening was we started exchanging marital stories about our significant others, at that time at least. And at that time, I was with my first wife. And when we started going back and forth talking about our differences with our marriages, I don't remember exactly what I said to kind of put things out there to where we can get on that level with each other, but I do remember her telling me that her biggest grievance with her dude was that he wasn't pleasing her sexually. Now I know for a fact that I said something slick. I just can't remember what I said, but I know that might have kicked it off and got everything started with us. So we started messing around in cars and then graduated to the hotel room. And then, my car was broke down, and then there was times where she was picking me up to take me to school with her and all of that and dropping me back off. And my first wife was not even aware that I was doing anything with this woman. And what was weird about it is that my first wife, she was so insecure and such a cheater her damn self, she would like put blame on me when I was being faithful. She would swear me down, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Now, I'm not going to admit, I was flirtatious. I was very flirtatious. I slapped a little ass, but I wasn't messing with nobody just yet, okay? So when she was always pointing the finger at me, I remember something that my mom had told me. She was like, but before I stopped talking to my mom had said, whoever points the finger is probably doing the most. And that stuck with me. And that really, really stuck with me. So I kept that in mind with her. So when I did start cheating, I realized she wasn't saying nothing. Matter of fact, when I started cheating on her, especially with the married woman, she was actually cooler and nicer to get along with. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was very strange. Anywho, so here I am messing with this married woman, and my addiction with her was mainly because of the allure of us doing something wrong, but kind of trying to make it seem like it was right. Me, the way that my mind worked back then, you would think I was a sicko, to be honest with you. And this is probably where people always go into that whole, oh, Geminis are crazy shit. Geminis are not crazy, they just think crazy. And I think that's what makes people believe that narrative and run with it. The way I used to believe, the way that my mind used to work, I used to make loopholes for everything. So in my mind, I used to say stupid shit like, yo, you married, I'm married, so we really not cheating. It kind of cancels cheating out when you think about it, because we're both married. We not married. We not cheating. We're just exploring our options. That's what I used to tell myself. I'm not lying. I can't make this up, y'all. There ain't no fabrications over here. You gonna get the whole truth and nothing but it. Anywho, we kept messing around for a while. Then I think one day, her husband had, I don't remember if I sent her a text or if I left a message. I can't remember which one it was. I must have sent the text. But when I sent the text, I didn't know she was around her husband. Her husband called my phone, but I knew when she called me back immediately and didn't text, something was wrong. So at that point, that's what kind of made us stop messing around with each other. But my addiction was more so that we was doing something wrong and we was making it right. You know what I'm saying? And then it was always that we taking a risk factor. We taking a risk of getting caught. I got addicted to the risky part of it. And that's what kind of set me on over the deep end of messing around with married women. So the second married woman that I messed with, I actually had known her for quite some time. We just never got a chance to get to know each other or cross paths like that, like to where we could really mess around. So one day, I'm at a party, right? And at this part, I see her at this party, and I told her like, "Yo, you look good," you know, like. And I did around this time. I'm in my second marriage, again, also unhappy, already cheating. Nobody knew until I told them. So we talking, you know, this is the most we had ever talked ever. So I let her know. I said, "Listen, man, you lucky we both married. Otherwise, your husband have a problem." I'm just talking shit, y'all. I did not know that line was gonna do something for me. No clue. I get her number. We got to chopping it up. And the first time we had our interaction was at her job. So what got me addicted to this married woman was the fact that I could pretty much have my way with her. If that makes any sense with y'all. Like, she was accessible to me like crazy at one point. And by her being so accessible, I was just like, oh yeah, I could always hit her up. And you know, most of the time sometimes she couldn't get away, but a lot of the time she could. 90% of the time she could make something happen for your boy in a clutch. And to top it off, she worked at a restaurant. So it was really like, all I had to do really was just pull up to her job and be like, hey yo, after work, you want that special, right? Yeah. So that's what really happened. That's how I got addicted to this woman, because she was accessible and she was down for whatever, whenever, wherever. I honestly, like at that time, she was one of my favorite women to actually be around, because she knew what it was. It wasn't no feelings involved. Like I went to kiss her one day and she told me, no, we don't have to kiss. I was like, ooh, I thought most women wanted that, but you don't. You know what this is. And the way she treated me, you would think that we did all of that kissy stuff. We didn't do all of that. It was straight down to business. Like, we already knew what we wanted. We already knew each other's bodies. It was like there was nothing that I thought was gonna happen before with nobody. So it was different. It was just different. But obviously, it started to wear off because she stopped being so accessible. And plus, I just started looking at myself kind of different at the time, because I'm like, dog, this ain't right. But at the same time, it's like, well, shit, I'm a dude. Some other dude gonna do it to me. So that's how I used to justify it. Now the third married woman that I messed with, and this was this is the last one, y'all. Okay, it's the third married woman that I messed with. The third married woman was somebody that actually was a side chick from my first marriage, and some point going into my second marriage. It was like we had a back and forth, or off and on thing. You know what I mean? The addiction with her was merely just the fact that I was used to her. I was used to her. She had been around for so long. I messed around with her for so many years. It was like, yeah, you know you ain't going nowhere, girl. Go ahead and come on over here. You know what I'm saying? It was a comfortability thing for me. And that's what I got addicted to that married woman. So that's it. You know, I'm sorry to laugh, man. It's just I think about how my mind used to work, and it's really messed up. But at the same time, I'm glad I overcame it, and I think different now. I just can't believe that I went from that to where I am now, and that's what's really making me laugh. But listen, again, I appreciate y'all checking out these episodes. Please share, get in those comments again like y'all did last time, and I'm gonna catch y'all next week with another good story. No faking, no fluffing, no fabricating, all facts. Remember that, indeed.